Sio Halito. How's everybody doing tonight? Y'all know we just had the harvest moon, Duna Nadi. That is in the Jalagi Anian Waya language. All right. The harvest month. All right. The harvest full moon. There is a quote in this book that I like to read. It's like wise words of wisdom every day. Where we will find another home, I cannot say, but I still intend to go back to the nation. But whether there will be peace, safety, and pleasure living there for a long time to come is doubtful. All right. This was Mrs. Willem P. Ross during a refuge in Kansas. This was in 1863. 1863. Excuse me. I showed this because I want you to see the language, and it's the harvest time. October is the harvest time. So let's go to the next one. All right. This was one. I chose just a few from October to focus on. All right. October 12th, the main focus is wisdom. We have heard the unforgettable cries of snow, geese on their way to warmer places, long check marks in the sky that turn and glint in the sun like silver flecks, thrill us with their ancient ritual. When the season begins to change, nature gives us a new view of creation, a creation in which we are not alien. We were never an afterthought. This was prepared for us the same way we provide everything a newborn needs before it arrives. Our seasons can be renewed as well, but it is our decision because we have freedom of choice. We have freedom of choice. I had to read that again. We are not programmed by nature or the enemy. The Great Spirit, the Creator, Unetlanuhi, gave us life and the wisdom to maintain it and to enjoy it as well. There's a quote by Sitting Bull. They use quotes. The author uses quotes from various indigenous people. All right. Each man or woman is good in his or her sight. It is not necessary for eagles to be crows. Meaning, be authentic, be your true self. A crow, which is Guga, is powerful in her own right. There's different medicine between crow medicine and eagle medicine. All right. Both are spiritual messengers. All right. The crow deals with the deep, invisible spiritual realm. The eagle is a messenger of the spiritual realm. Both medicines are powerful and they go deep. The crow and the raven energy is strong during this autumn season. Also, the bear energy. The bear energy comes up for the winter, but for the autumn, the fall, that spiritual energy is heavy raven, which is gulana, and crow, guga medicine. that medicine is powerful. It deals with um, the balance of the universe, the light and the dark, your light and your dark side, your good and your quote unquote bad or evil side. Balancing them is just about when it's necessary to be good and when it's necessary to be bad. Hey, flowing wisdom. All right. The Raven, the Crow deals with sacred law of Great Spirit, the universe. Also deals with shapeshifter energy, meaning when it's time to be good, be good. When it's time to be bad. Whatever spirit guides, spirit animals that you deal with flow in each one as the time permits or when it is necessary. All right. Uh, so that's just a brief synopsis of the Raven, the Crow energy. It also deals with using your own personal power. Some will call it magic or conjuring. Just be wise of what you're doing with your power. All right, that is the motif, the message of this, which is wisdom. All right. This one is talking about renewal. All right. Early autumn mornings are cocooned in low flying fog so that even the birds are cautious in their flight. Clusters of rose colored grasses are draped in dew laden webs, and all along the path, silken remnants shimmer with the most intricate designs. For a few hours, the morning is softly hung with gossamer. Some of the webs are already in the process of being repaired, where a leaf or a twig broke through. Each web has the mark of a social spinner, silver with pearly droplets in the mist, and transparent in the sunlight. Surely this will be sweet. Uga Nasda to the TARDIS spirit. It not only paces the heart, but lightens the load. What comes to me is about grandmother spider. It's also a depiction of the web. Everyone weaves their own web or their own blanket or their own basket of life, your life's journey. You can view it as how grandmother spider weaves her web. A kind of modern depiction of this would be like Charlotte's Web, how the spider wove different messages in the web. So this is basically each person weaves their own web. It's their journey. Your actions are like recorded intricately in the web. Like you weave a basket, like you would weave a sweetgrass basket, or you would weave a blanket, uh, crochet or twining. Every person is walking their own path, living their own life. Yes, you will have some people, family, friends, associates, loved ones, adversaries on your journey. You will experience a lot of shit on your journey, right? So just be mindful and be wise about what web you are weaving, what blanket, what sweetgrass basket you are weaving. Those are just different analogies that came to mind when it talked about the spider. Um, when you just walk in your journey, like I said, it's gonna be other people along your journey, but at the core of this, you have to walk. You have to walk that narrow path, quote unquote, on your own. You came into this world. It's just you. Of course, Une La Nuhi, Great Spirit, the Creator, Creatress is within you, that breath of life. That's how you came in here, and that's how you're going to leave. But along your journey, you're going to encounter family, friends, and others along your journey. Now, there is this quote that says, "The Great Spirit made it to always change, like the seasons change." Seasons change in your life and on this earth realm and in the spiritual realm. All right. The Great Spirit made it to always change. Sunlight to play, night to sleep, everything good. This was a quote by Flying Hawk. All right. The next one is growth. Growth. It is peculiar how important something can be at one time and how totally unimportant at another. As we grow, our interests grow. We lose sight of situations we thought to be footed in concrete, lovely or unlovely. Nothing stays the same. It cannot. It grows into something newer and better, or it gives way where it is. Life is a living, moving force at every moment. We would not have that change. We would not have that change, but to live happily, we must change. All right. Things change. They don't always stay the same. They either evolve or go the opposite. All right. Um, some things are constant, some things are core things, but you get the gist. We cannot allow ourselves to crystallize until we are inflexible. Okay, just be too hard, too hardened. All right. There is too much to shatter us if we cannot bend. And you got to be wise with bending. It just means be flexible because life throws us challenges, different things happen, so you got to go with the flow and rise to the fucking challenge. All right. To enjoy the present moment is to have the innate knowledge that the next one and the next can be even better. All right, this is a quote from Tecumseh. All right, Tecumseh. My forefathers were warriors. Their son is a warrior. From them I take my existence. From my tribe I take nothing. I am the maker of my own fortune. I am the maker of my own fortune. All right. All right, this one. Winning. All right. Winning. Everybody wants to be the winner. All right. No one is so destined to lose that she or he cannot turn the tide if he or she wants to change. Overcoming requires us to put our shoulder to the wheel in ways we would not have considered in earlier times. We are greatly influenced by our beliefs about ourselves and whether we are supposed to win or lose. The Great Spirit always wants us to win. The Great Spirit always wants us to win. It is our indecisiveness that keeps things wavering. There is nothing wrong with winning, and believing we can is a good thing. The question is, Ada Husky is not the spirit creator, but of us. All right. Love wraps around, excuse me. Love wraps us around with peace and healing, with eagerness to do great things, but we have to free ourselves to do it. We have to free ourselves to do it. All right, here's a quote by Asgo Ye Watha. All right, brother, you say there is one way to worship and serve the Great Spirit. If there is but one religion, why do you differ so much about it? So basically, it's not one way to serve Great Spirit or be in communion with Great Spirit. It's more than one way to pay honor, respect, to flow in the Spirit. It's more than one way. So don't be narrow-minded in that aspect. I think that was the last one. This is a book that I like to read every month. And it just like sets the tone for each month for me. This is like life, applying this to my daily life. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. All right. So this is gonna be a quick video. Peace to everybody tuning in. I appreciate y'all. All right. Peace, George Wichard the third from Huntsville, Alabama. Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Chico de Coster Saceda. Forgive me if I butchered your name, but peace to you. I'm just sharing some Jalagi, onion wire, words of wisdom. That is one of my tribal nations that my bloodline ancestors comes from. If you're new to my channel, I am what they will call the misnomer Criollos. And I have various indigenous tribal nations in my bloodline. All right. Two of the major ones that I flow in are the Aniawaya, the Jalagi, which is the Cherokee, they call it. Also the Chata. And I am a descendant of Ope-Chinkana of the Powhatan Pamunkey tribal nation. So, every once in a while on my channel, well, here and there, I flow in a gumbo pot of my ancestors' spirituality and culture. So, that's just a disclaimer. And my flow, my interpretation, my spiritual interpretation of a lot of spiritual things in life and practical life shit. So peace and Wado Yakoki Shonobis-chi. Merci beaucoup. Gracias. Thank you for everybody tuning in. I appreciate you. So this is just a little short video. I thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully everyone is reaping a good harvest this harvest moon time. So I'm gonna leave y'all with those thoughts. And this page. All right. Right here. All right. Now this is an excerpt from, I believe, James Mooney's book. All right, it talks about the mounds and the constant fire. So during the harvest moon or during full moon ceremonies, we do light a sacred fire. There's always a fire that's lit, but during ceremony time, there's a fire lit. Okay. Here we go. Let me go to this. Let me see, just a second. All right, this is just an excerpt I'm gonna read before I go into that. All right, this is okay. Now we just came out of Donagohuni, the RipeCorn, which falls after Selu, tsu-ni-gi-s-ti-s-ti. Okay. The corn harvest, referred to as the RipeCorn Festival, was customarily held in the early part of this moon to acknowledge Selu, the spirit of the corn, or maize. Selu is thought of as the first woman. She taught the tribes how to pray and basically ways of life, right? The festival respects Mother Earth as well as providing all foods during the growing season. The Brush Feast Festival also customarily takes place in this season. All the fruits and nuts of the bushes and the trees of the forest were gathered at this time. A wide variety of nuts from the trees went into the nut breads for the various festivals throughout the seasons. Hunting traditionally began in earnest at this time. So, we have a harvest, okay? This is still harvest time. It's like autumn is collecting all, like I just read, all the fruits, nuts, vegetables, a lot of corn, squash, and beans, collecting that before winter time hits. Okay. And then I did add some bonus info. This talks about the 13th or the blue moon. But I'm gonna focus on, y'all can you know, read this in your spare time, but this is just talking about the great new moon ceremony. Let's go down to the bounding bush ceremony. The first new moon of spring. The ripe corn ceremony, which I kind of broke down. All right, the celebration begins on the first day of Dulisti, the bountiful harvest of mature foods, is celebrated. This is the end of the annual cycle of major ceremonies and is usually the last month of the civil calendar, with the exception of the occasional 13th month. All right. Ugu, which is a dance. All right. Every seventh year, this ceremony replaces Nuwati Ikwa. All right. It is a ceremony of thanks offered to the Creator by the entire nation, led by the Ugu Supreme Peace Chief. All right. The ceremony serves mainly to show our appreciation to the Creator for creating us. During the ceremony, the Ugu is dressed in a special yellow attire made and reserved for this occasion. So I got this from various sources. All right. So this is just, overview. This is just an overview. All right. Let me see. Anything else I want to focus on? Okay, if you lighten fires during this full moon, this harvest moon, it talks about the sacred fire is ritually cleansed by the village high priest or medicine woman or man, holy woman or man. Um, and then you have the fire keepers that keep the fire lit. All right. The fire is said to accumulate or absorb all of the wrongs committed by people, and when it is cleansed and renewed, so are the people. All right, the real people, the principal people. All right, ceremony is unity is symbolized. All right, by two chosen people ritually exchanging clothing. All right, so these are just some of the ceremonies. I did have these available. It's something going on with my site for these, but you can also check out the honoring the ancestors ones. But these are the harvest moon, just my designs. But let me see, just a second. Let's go back to this. All right. So, okay. I'm going to read this, and this will be my closing one, and then I'm going to share the honoring ancestors merch. It's my ode to some of my ancestors. All right. Some of my indigenous ancestors. All right. The mounds and the constant fire, the old sacred things. Some say that the mounds were built by another people. Others say they were built by the ancestors of the old Ani Kituwagi. All right. All right. For townhouse foundations so that the townhouses would be safe with freshets came. All right. When freshets came, the townhouse was always built on the level bottom, lands by the river, in order that the people might have smooth ground for their dances and ball plays, and might be able to go down to the water during the dance. All right. When they say we're ready to build the mound, they begin by laying a circle of stones on the surface of the ground. Next, they made a fire in the center of the circle and put near it the body of some prominent chief or priest, medicine woman or man, holy woman or man, who had lately died. Some say 7 chief men from seven different clans, together with an Ulu Ulunsuti stone on Utina scale or horn. Now my Jalagi, over the years, I've been learning some words. I'm actually taking a class. I need to catch up on my class. I really do. But so bear with me as I pronounce these words. All right. A feather to the right wing of an eagle or great Tala Nuwa, which lived in those days in beads of seven colors: red, white, black, blue, purple, yellow, and gray blue. The medicine woman or man then conjured all these with disease, so that if ever an enemy invaded the country, even though he should burn and destroy the town and the townhouse, he would never live to return home. So they conjured this with disease, so any invading enemy would catch this disease and won't make it home, even though he might destroy or burn down the town and all that shit. It ain't going down because they not gonna make it home. All right. Now it talks about the mound was then built up with earth, which the women brought in baskets, and as they piled it above the stones, the bodies of their great men, and then the sacred things, they left an open place at the fire in the center and let down a hollow cedar trunk with the bark on, which fitted around the fire and protected it from the earth. All right, the cedar log was cut long enough to reach nearly to the surface inside the townhouse when everything was done. The earth was piled up around it, and the whole mound was finished off smoothly. And then the townhouse was built upon it. One man, called the firekeeper, stayed always in the townhouse to feed and tend the fire. When there was to be a dance or a council, he pushed long stalks of the Iyaga weed. All right. Which some call Etsil Sunti, the fire maker, Erigeron Canadence, or Flavane, down through the opening in the cedar log to the fire at the bottom. He left the ends of the stalks sticking. I gotta make this bigger. Forgive me. Okay. All right. He left the ends of the stalks sticking out and piled lichens and punk around, after which he prayed. And as he prayed, the fire climbed up along the stalks until it caught the punk. Then he put on wood, and by the time the dancers were ready, there was a large fire blazing in the townhouse. After the dance, he covered the hole over again with ashes, but the fire was always smoldering below. Just before the green corn dance, all right, in the old times, every fire in the settlement was extinguished, and all the people came and got new fire from the townhouse. This was called Atsila Galunk tsu, the honored or sacred fire. Sometimes when the fire in a house went out, the woman came to the firekeeper, who made a new fire by rubbing an iyaga stalk against the underside of a hard, dry fungus that grows upon the locust trees. Some say this everlasting fire was only in the larger mounds at Nikwasi, Kituwa, and a few other towns, and that when the new fire was thus drawn up for the green corn dance, it was distributed from them to the other settlements. So they shared the fire. All right. Our ancestors shared the fire. The fire burns yet at the bottom of these great mounds, and when the Jalagi, Ani, and Waya, Ani Kitawagi soldiers were camped near Kitawa during the Civil War, they saw smoke still rising from the mound. The Jalagi once had a wooden box, nearly square and wrapped up in buckskin, in which they kept the most sacred things of their, these are excerpts, old religion, all right? Upon every important expedition, two medicine men carried it in turn and watched over it in camp so that nothing could come near to disturb it. Oh, uh, they mention another tribe. The Delawares captured it more than 100 years ago, and after that, the old religion was neglected. Interesting. And trouble came to the nation. Wow. They had also a great peace pipe carved from white stone with 7 stem holes so that 7 men could sit around and smoke from it at once at their peace councils. In the old town of Kiowe, they had a drum of stone cut in shape of a turtle, which was hung up upside down. No, it was hung up inside the townhouse, excuse me, and used at all the town dances. The other towns of the lower Jalagi used to borrow it too for their own dances. All the old things, they say all the old things are gone now, and the Indians are different today, but the old things are not gone. Some still practice the traditions of the ancient ones. And we know the ancient ones built the mounds, laid the foundation, the blueprint for mound building. All right. So I thought that this was a relevant excerpt to read, because around the harvest time, during every um, new moon or full moon, there are fires lit, sacred fires lit. Depending on your tribal nation, uh, or if you are Creole or you practice um, any Creole spirituality or culture, you're going to be lighting fires or you're going to be lighting candles. And I do both. Okay. Um, yes, I am. Um, Yes, I am. Okay. Um, yes, I have also, to George, I have also partnered up, with my cuz from the Yamasi tribal nation, on Southeastern Talking Stick podcast. We are, co-owners, co-authors of that podcast, Southeastern Talking Stick podcast. We represent. I also recognize, uh, the Yamasi as, um, my ancient people. Um, I'm a member of the Kansas City Cherokee community. So, yeah, so, when I'm on there, I also represent, not only indigenous, my indigenous bloodline, but I represent my Criollos ancestors. So, so on my channel, you gonna get a gumbo pot of the spirituality and culture of my ancestors. All right, not just one thing. You gonna get a gumbo pot. All right. So, this is just a little short, live that I did tonight, this morning. Um, I just wanted to touch base because I haven't, did a video in a minute. But I'm coming back later this month, because it's gonna be Fet Gede, the festival, the feast of the ancestors, the feast of the dead, and Dia de los Muertos. Because I am Creole and Criollos, I celebrate, the French Creole one and the Spanish Creole one. Um, Both have indigenous, practices mixed in, and both have, diasporic, spirituality and culture, whether that's from various places, of the diaspora, including, Agbulan and, some of the islands. Haiti is one of them, Louisiana Creole. It's a lot of, like I said, it's a gumbo pot. So when you come to my channel, you gonna get a gumbo pot of my bloodline ancestors, spirituality, and cultures. All right. So this is just an overview, but later this month, I'm gonna be coming with that Fet Gede, Dia de los Muertos celebration, Feast of the Ancestors, Feast of the Dead, Day of the Dead. I'm celebrating at the end of October, first, part of November. So I'm gonna be coming back with that, every year. I go to different celebrations throughout my community here where we honor our ancestors. I put on regalia, I get dressed up, I get face paint, I go, light candles and all of that. Eat good food, listen to good live music, pour libations. I do all that good. All right. And just have a good old time. And I do my own personal thing at home on my on my altars for my ancestors. They get their favorite, uh, food, liquor, um, different favorite things. So I'll be back with, a video going in depth about Fet Gede and Dia de los Muertos. So I'm closing out for the night because I gotta handle business in the morning, in a couple of hours. So, but I did want to touch on the harvest time. I usually go to a harvest celebration. Sometimes the Indian Center here puts on a harvest festival, which is where this picture is from. Vendors, have sacred pipes or drums, food, items, all kind of indigenous items for display and for purchase. They have live drumming, and it's an awesome time. So yeah, it's a way of life for me. So I do celebrate, and I be in the community. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Wado Yukoki, Shonobis Chi, Merci beaucoup, gracias. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Till next time. Peace.